Oh, there we are. Hey guys, welcome back to Reticulous Radio. We're here with Brian and Kathy Farrelly from Reptile Revival. Guys, did you kind of want to start off with a little bit about what got you guys into the hobby?
Sure, that sounds like a good place to start. So, like most of us, I was catching stuff when I was a kid. Catching stuff when I had nothing other than to find another garter snake. Like there was this little pond down by our apartment complex, and people probably thought I shouldn't be playing in it, I'm sure, but there were some monster garter snakes in there, so I'd go down there and catch them all the time. And
when you say garter snakes, are you talking like common or like the San Francisco garter?
They were just common. They were just. Right. I don't know. They look like just your standard garter snake. I don't remember which one they were, but nothing really cool like those.
Really. Yeah.
Those red and blue ones.
Yeah. That's a lifer of mine for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know that that guy Lou B. Have you ever seen him? He's a pilot. He's on YouTube. Anyway, he did a video where he found one of those. He's a pretty cool YouTuber. Anyway, right. Getting off track. So yeah, when I was a kid, I used to catch them all the time. Did you used to catch?
I wasn't not into. I just wasn't really exposed to snakes as a kid. Like a friend had a corn snake, and I took it for show and tell. What's going on?
How you doing?
Hey.
Sorry about that.
So I was more into lizards and stuff, and I used to work at PetSmart in the reptile department. So I had like when Brian and I met, I had a Molly Uromastyx, and so I was into like those types of reptiles, but just had never had snakes. So one day Brian said, I was never allowed to keep a snake as a kid. What do you think?
I was always bringing them home, and Mom wouldn't let me have them. Again, a lot of the typical story that a lot of us have, but anyway, yeah, we moved up to Idaho from Phoenix, and I was like, can I get a snake, please? And she was like, all right. So that led to me finding some people that we've known for 10 plus years now who are breeders, and we went down there every weekend and clean cages for them and just learned a bunch about husbandry and what it was like to be a breeder, because that was like not at all on my radar to want to breed snakes. But, I guess one thing led to the next, and we started breeding boas and corn snakes. And that was, boas were a lot of fun, but some things just happened in our life that forced us to sell everything really quick. So, so we ended up selling them, and life got ahead of us and started having kids. And I thought, man, reptiles are not in our future anymore. I'm sure. Like I'll have to wait until the kids are gone. But once our boys are, they're now 8 and 9 and 3, and they're super stoked to be involved in it too. So yeah,
that's always fun.
Back into it.
I mean, that's for sure. So when you guys started keeping, you said you guys started keeping like boas and corn snakes and everything, then you started breeding. Yeah, to me, if I ever start breeding, I think it'd be a lot of it just to play with the babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baby snakes are always fun.
Oh man!
But so, what you guys keep now, since you guys got back into the hobby?
Yeah, so we when she said yes this next time around that I could get a snake again, that the boys would be cool with it and whatever, I started doing some research, and that's when I found Garrett's channel. And so, I don't know, I looked around at other species to start raising to breed, but, I just, like a lot of people, Garrett just kind of spoke to me in those videos, and I just loved the species from what I could tell, the colors, all the recessive and incomplete dominant morphs out there, and there's just so much opportunity. And a big part of it too was you could tell right away that the ball python market was just saturated. Like immediately looking at it, without diving into the whole world, you could tell. But
and when we started, like, to answer your question, you said, what did we start back with? So our first thought was like, well, we don't want to overwhelm the boys. Like, we don't, we want to get them excited and keep them excited about reptiles. And so we started with a ball python. And so we had a ball python, and they were like, it's not going to get crazy on us. We're like, no, just hold it, So one of us got one. We all had to get one. So we have 4 ball pythons, and they're holding them. And like a week later, they're like, does it do anything else? And they were excited to like start handling them, and they were seeing the Dwarf and Superdwarf videos, and they were like, I want one that's gonna like move through my hands. And so it didn't take long to go from like, we have 4 ball pythons to like, we have ball pythons, but now we're gonna dive into the retics, and we've never looked back. So it's been quite a year of acquiring. I
think the plan was like to use the ball pythons as a buy-in for the boys. It's like, look, you can get these now. These are going to be really cool. And then Dad's going to get retics, and that will be his plan, Yeah. And now it's like, I don't know. I don't think like our oldest son has interest in them for sure, but that spark in the very beginning is gone.
Retics for me definitely hold a really special place in my heart. they're just fun. Yeah.
What is it? What is that golden child? You have a golden child male that's het snow, right? Is that what you have?
Yeah, he's Henry golden child, pas het albino. So I mean, he's pas het snow, but he's actually. He's fun. I like him. Like my big normal female, she, ever since I bumped her up to rabbits and stuff, she doesn't exhibit like a major food response. But when because I got a bunch of stillborn pigs from another buddy of mine that he had in his freezer, and those initiated a huge feed response, and our rats do, but the rabbits, I just can't figure it out. They don't. And then Charlie, whenever I go to open his cage, he's always ready for a meal, no matter how much he eats. So he's always just right there, and it's always fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, once he's out, he's great.
Yeah. That's what got us into the retics.
How many do you guys have now?
So I think we have 14 retics right now. Yeah, and we have 2 that are not here yet, but we're just waiting for the weather to warm up from Garrett.
Nice.
But
are those a secret or?
No, they're not a secret. So I don't know if you follow our collection at all, but like this one here is she's a motley double het Indo-Caramel and Anery. And so we have
Keith. Can you bring up their screen a little bit?
Sure.
I don't know how well this light's gonna do here. Hopefully it does pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, so she's 50% Jampea, double het Indo-Caramel and Anery. Nice. And so we have her and her normal sister, and then so one of those snakes that's coming is another one like this, female, and then a snow motley possible tiger male that I'll breed to those 3 females and other stuff too. But like that's the main reason I got them, or we got them.
Where are you guys located? Like the area?
We're in North Idaho, so like you know where Spokane, Washington is. We're like right on the other side of the. What's that?
I thought you guys were out in California for some reason. I don't know why I thought that.
Probably because we went over there, quite a few times.
Carpet Fest and everything. Yeah. I figured you guys must have just got close by.
Yeah. We travel for work, and so we take advantage of that, like as far as the reptile community and all that stuff goes. So if we are going to Orlando, for example, we stop by Gatorland and like try and get together with people over there. Just wherever we go for our real jobs, that's what we,
Oh man, that's always fun. So what you guys do for a living?
We work for a software company that's we sell software to colleges and universities all around the world for assessment and accreditation. It's drastically different from the seemingly simple world of reptiles in comparison. But yeah, there's a lot more interesting people, let me tell you that, in the reptile world.
Very diverse.
Yeah.
Higher education is not full of like very lively people. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do with those 4. Cannot wait.
That'd be fun.
Or, are you getting adults from them?
They're so the female that's this one's sister will be a year old. She's a year old just this last month, and then the male is, I think he's 8 months, something like that.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. Some people like to start with babies, and then some people would, go and buy the adults.
Right.
Yeah.
If you can find them.
Yeah, it's so hard to come across the dwarf and superdwarf adults.
Yeah, no one seems to be wanting to let those go.
Yeah, and then they're like crazy expensive when you do find them. But
Adam says
anyway, it's fun raising them up. It'll be that much more worth it when we have some eggs here to have raised them up from babies, and have that relationship with them and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Plus, they're not like we don't have one snake that's really defensive or anything. We had some that initially they were, but they turned around pretty quick. I think we've been lucky with that. I know some people, it's no matter what, there's nothing you can do to turn some snakes around, but
yeah, I've definitely lucked out with everything I have. And like, whenever people even message me like what to do, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I do different or if I just got lucky.
Yeah. Like we have this one snake who came from, I bought him from Joe Hull, and he came from Aaron initially, and then to Garrett. Anyway, so like 3 different people were like, watch out for her, don't have her around your kids. Like she's just gonna freak out, and she's like the sweetest snake we have. So I don't know if like the flight turned her around or what it is, but
We had her in the first grade classroom with all the kids holding her.
yeah, like not long after I got her, actually. I told Joe that I did that. He's like, oh yeah, how'd that go? Like she's a maniac over here, but.
yeah, it's crazy. I personally think retics are a pretty smart species, so like I don't have a problem with like defensiveness with either of mine, just that one being foodie, I mean, they were both a little bit defensive when they came to me. I mean, of course, Buttercup she was like 6 weeks old when I got her, so she was pretty defensive, but she got over that like super quick. So it's I'm just a firm believer of if you can put the time, effort, and like confident handling in, you'll get, you kind of get what you put in, you know what I mean?
That's how I was feeling too. And then I started seeing people like experienced keepers say, like, I saw some post, I forget who it was, but it was an experienced keeper saying like, just wait long enough and you'll have ones that don't turn around for you like that. I think it was Matthew Rogers. But anyway.
And when you say about being smart, like that's so true. Sometimes like Brian will be holding one, like a new one that we've gotten, and he's worked with them a lot, and they totally recognize them. And then all of a sudden, like I'll take them even from the back, like when they're not facing me, and they can tell it's a different person. They like tense up and like really hang on tight, and they really get like apprehensive if they're not with someone they're comfortable with or whatever. It's really interesting, and their personalities are so different from one to the next. Like we have some that are just social butterflies. Like you open the cage and they just want to come out, and they are just a bear to try to get back in because they just want to hang out. And then others are like, please don't take me out. If you do, please put me back. Like you could just tell they tolerate it, but they don't exactly embrace the companionship. But some of them are just like, they're just sweethearts and they just love to be out, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Go ahead. I was going to say, other than that project, we have what I'd really like to focus on in the future is anery and just pure locality stuff. So like we have these morph projects mainly based around snow, but what I'd like to do is just reinvest any money into pure stuff. And like, I don't even care if we make any money or not. I think that's super interesting to, like Garrett's breeding, I think 5 of the 7 localities or something this year.
Yeah, like Madu, Karumpa, Kalatoa, Keowadu, Keowadi, and then so that's I definitely love the looks of the pure locality stuff. I mean, you can definitely see some difference in one locality to the next, which is really cool. But like you were saying, the anery stuff, I really like the looks of stuff with anery in it because it really does add a bunch, even though it gets rid of the red coloring. So
I love the like green that anery pulls out in them. If you want to. Yeah, I love the green that anery pulls out, and when you mix it with the different codoms, like anery tigers are just insane, anery motley tigers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just can't wait to make that stuff. So a lot of our stuff is pos het right now, other than those double het endocarmal anery girls. But yeah. Our first breeding it's going to be like my least desirable one, because it's kind of flip flopped as far as how I want to do things. But I really wanted to get a snake from Aaron Metcalf a while ago, like when we first got going, and I looked on his website, saw he had a 2-year-old 25% Kalatoa golden child tiger that's het albino. I'm like, I can do something with her, so I'm going to breed her to our male that's 75% Kalatoa, 12.5% Junipea. He came from Garrett.
Can you pull up the picture a little bit more, Keith?
I was just waiting.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, man.
So this one is our anery pos het purple. She's like 43 and some weird percent Jampea.
She's got some of that green.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
From Jeff Kelly.
So what's the oldest Superdwarf you guys have? Superdwarf dwarf in your guys' collection right now?
So Duchess is the one that's the 25% Kalatoa that I told you we're going to breed first, and she is 3 next month. So by the end of this year, I think she'll be ready. That's the oldest. Just a second now.
Mom, I'm using this fire.
But anyways, and then we have right now our youngest one is 9 months. So
you said anery motley tiger. You brought that up, and if anyone really knows my next big purchase that I'm really looking to get, it's a female anery motley tiger at albino, and I don't know if you've seen Joe's Miss Peaches.
Yeah.
His anery oh man, I told him I tried buying her off him so many times, man. He would not let her go. It killed me.
Pretty proud of that snake.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to pair it to my male anery golden child pass out albino,
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a pretty cool pairing. So
Yeah, for sure. No, a lot of people want those, so I figure I just have to make one.
Yeah. Oh man, they're pretty.
Adam said he'll have one for you in a few years.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So anyways, other than that, we have the. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask if you guys want to start pulling out snakes and showing us everything you got. We can bring you guys up on the big
Not
screen.
about everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Here's some
Like,
top secret.
Liberty.
Except the top secret stuff.
Yeah. So do you guys have, I'm assuming you have something breeding this season?
Nothing this season. No. So our first time breeding will be at the end of this year.
Oh, okay. I thought you had like corn snakes and stuff for.
That was their last.
Yeah, we did like 10 years ago.
And then you said you sold them all. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we were breeding corns and boas back then.
We ended up with about 125 snakes when we decided to liquidate.
Wow.
So there was some fire sales going on.
Yeah.
So this is Trixie. She's
This is Liberty.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Liberty. This is she looks so yellow.
I know.
She's like crazy looking for a normal. So she's a normal. She's double het, endocarmal, and anery. 50% Jampea. And just like insane. When she fires up, she gets like super light colored and just the coolest looking normal that we have for sure.
And this is one of those three from that same clutch that we're getting.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for normals. I'm not gonna lie. I
love the normals, especially with the like thick black outlines on their pattern, like the Bontang Sulas. Oh man, those things are awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we've got those girls, and then this is Trixie. She's a platinum. She's 25% Calatoa, 25% Jampea. She was produced by Aaron Acevedo and came from Garrett.
Nice.
Yeah, she's really. Oh, so she's Posset Anery.
All right.
And she's the one that I said was. She's like 8 years old, or sorry, 8 months old.
All right. Yeah, she's got some really pretty like high grays on the sides. I've always dug that about. You know, I've always like.
Or later.
Okay. What do you want?
So where did you guys come up with your name on YouTube, Reptile Revival?
So I was just thinking we should probably come up with some sort of business name if we decide to go that route. And, you know, it's kind of a revival of our reptile keeping, you know, is like getting back into the hobby. And then a big part of it for me and Kathy was to come back in and come alongside other people that are into it and share the passion like we're doing now, you know. It took a surprisingly long time. Let me turn this. It took a surprisingly long time for me to come across some serious negativity in Facebook. You know, I thought man, everybody's so nice. Like I've only had good interactions for the most part with people, and
yeah, I think it's how you come off to some like, you know what I mean. You can't come off to people like, you know what I mean. You gotta be more humble, I guess, on how you word stuff, because if not, everyone thinks you're attacking them. If you're trying,
yeah,
you know,
everybody's pretty sensitive.
Yeah.
This is Cleopatra. She's a 50% Solaire tiger head albino, and she is. I think she'll be 2 in June. I think it was something like that.
Adam wants to know if you guys will be at Carpet Fest.
As of right now, no, but we're working on the possibly going. We had such a great time last year. We'd really love to make it, but we made a lot of sacrifices over this last year to start our collection and meet with people and all that. And I think we kind of need to slow down and focus on raising up the animals. And
for work alone, like you said earlier, we travel a lot. And so like I've got 10 trips planned this year. Like I'm leaving in a couple weeks again. And so to try to like fit in another one is a little bit difficult. We've got about one a month. So it's going to be tricky, like figuring it out with work.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
But that girl, I don't know what I'm going to do with her. I'm super excited to have her. I want to get more Soleil stuff. She has that cool, like, thick banding, almost like the Bontang Sulas do. Can you bring her over here? Oh, she was born in July, so she'll be 2 in July.
So for your guys's, I seen a post on your guys' like honeymoon. You guys went to like Indonesia or something crazy, right?
Yeah, so we've both been abroad a bit, and I spent about 1.5 years in Thailand before we met. So we went over to Thailand after we started dating, and then we went on our honeymoon to Costa Rica doing some herping.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
How'd that go?
Right?
Huh?
That's what normal couples do, is look for the fertilizer.
That's what they should do anyway.
Right.
Finding the eyelash viper was like the highlight of our honeymoon.
Yeah.
I bet.
And so I've got to tell this one. So we're zip lining on our honeymoon, trying to figure out what this married thing is going to look like, right? And Brian sees a vine snake. So we've got like those leather gloves on while you're zip lining.
Man, you see how thick the bands are?
Yeah. Man, jeez. Yeah, I see what you're talking about there for sure.
So we're zip lining, and Brian sees a mildly venomous snake in the canopy. So as we're flying from one platform to the other, he reaches out and grabs this venomous snake. And we get to the other platform, and we're several stories above the ground floor here. And the guides were like, they were freaking out. And I'm like, oh, the venomous ones? He's like, it's only mildly, it's rear fanged, it's fine. And at that point,
right.
Like 3 days into our marriage.
I had leather gloves on and everything. Come on.
So we got a picture of him too, holding the snake.
So how fast are you moving? You'd have to have like some pretty good freaking eyesight.
It was at the end as I started to slow down. I saw it and I snagged it. I was going slow enough to like realize what it was,
Oh, all right.
And it wasn't very big. It was probably like 2.5 feet long or something. So it wasn't like I'd grab a hold of it and it's like, I don't know. It wasn't as crazy as she made it seem.
No, but to just that would be a pretty cool story though.
Hell yeah.
It was fun. Like I wish we were harassing all the people on that like compound that we were staying at, like all the people that work there, like, where are the snakes at? They looked at us like, what? Why do you want to know where the snakes are? Like, we find them and remove them. That's where they are.
We brought our snake hooks with us, like our collapsible snake hooks on our honeymoon.
That's awesome.
It was fun. It was a good time. And it's been 13 years and we haven't really slowed down since. So,
Conrad,
awesome.
how old's your Annery golden child?
Yeah, man. How old?
Yeah.
He'll be 2. His hatch date was May 10th, 2018. So 2018. So he'll be 2 in May.
Okay. I was thinking maybe they came from.
Yeah, that's right.
So what are the locality percentages on yours?
He is 25% Jampea and 25% Kalatoa.
Yeah. That's what girl is too. He's
He's from a repeat breed. he's from a repeat breeding though.
Okay.
So I mean, he could have the same parents, just a different clutch.
Right. But she's a posset snow anyway. Supposedly she is het anery, but this is the one that we were having all sorts of trouble with, smashing her face up in the corners of the cages.
Yeah. It was going through your guys' videos again. I saw that. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, she's way better now. Like just that little bit of tape kept her from doing that.
It's crazy how fast they heal. Though you think like, oh, that's going to be brutal forever, and then like 6 weeks later, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I won't mention names, but I mean, I definitely applaud you guys for coming on here still, because like a lot of people are too afraid to show that type of stuff on social media because they get a lot of backlash, because a lot of people don't understand how pushy retics can really be.
Man. Yeah,
so like it happens, and me and Josh were talking to one of our buddies. Throw his name out. He said that when his snakes healed up from the pushing, which he stopped pushing after Josh actually told him to bump up the heat a little bit, and that actually stopped him from pushing. So he's working on healing up, and he wants to bring him on once he's healed up, but I mean, he's been trying to do everything to stop it from pushing, and he was just afraid of how much backlash he would get for, his retic having a little bit of damaged head scales,
Oh man, our male Mozart, it's like nonstop trying to keep him from doing that stuff. Like when we first got him, he would smash his face in there so hard that he was like constantly breaking teeth. Like we did everything to help him out, and he'll still go on like bouts of it. I think he's just like a really like horny teenager or something. But anyway, he like made it swell up all crazy out one side, and then it ended up drying out and opening up. I don't know if you've ever seen this on a snake before, but we were able to just like scrape out the cheese and like broken teeth from in there.
It's very glamorous.
And just spray it with betadine or whatever we used, and he healed up just perfect until he did it again. Yeah.
What do you guys all do to try to get them to stop? Like you were saying, you tried a couple different things, just so people have the same issue. They might be able to try different things.
So, first thing I did was turn down the temperature a little bit, and then I covered one side of the cage, made sure he had a hide, and just like make sure your temperatures are right first off, and then make sure that they feel secure. And make sure that they're fed. I don't know. Like feeding him doesn't change his behavior. Like I fed him a jumbo rat not long ago, which was a huge meal for him. And he's like, he pees a little bit. That's another thing, is keep the cage really clean. But if he pees just a little bit, he's like, get me out of here. And he'll just like start destroying himself.
Can you guys still hear me all right if I take out my headset?
Yeah.
We can still hear you.
A little lower, but not bad.
I'll talk a little
bit. Yeah, even Adam said he has retics that push too.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty common.
Yeah, it's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Some of them like a little bit colder, some like a little bit warmer. It's just play with stuff. That's why I always try to it's a learning. You got to learn the whole time.
Yeah.
All through the whole entire keeping. It's pretty much how you get everything right is by just personally learning it.
Yeah. And like you said, they're all individuals, so they're gonna like different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all definitely their own different little personalities.
This is Duchess. This is the girl that we're gonna breed at the end of this year. She's
bigger again.
Golden Child Tiger, head albino from Aaron Metcalf, 25% Kalatoa. She's cool. She's like.
It's weird that you say that her name's Duchess, because my Golden Child is also named Duchess.
Nice.
Weird. I don't know.
It seems like you both have all the same names.
Yeah, she seems like a spoiled, high maintenance little princess. That's what she was one that we got. That it was like she's just going to be snappy. She's just going to be high maintenance. Like, but she's calmed down a lot.
Yeah, she would like
Conrad
come flying out of the.
Some thick black lines. My normal girl. I don't know if you can.
There you go.
She's got some pretty thick ones.
Nice. So you have that one and the golden child.
Camera.
Is that right?
Huh? Yeah.
You need a bigger camera.
Yeah. Got myself on camera. Work with me here, Keith. Come on now.
I can't make it any bigger for you.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's definitely been a year of learning and raising these snakes for the last year because, like I said, we hadn't worked with retics before, and just learning the little quirks that they have. And when I was talking about feeding, or when I was talking about taking care of them as individuals, I've really noticed over the last several months that I need to feed each of my snakes like more on an individual schedule as well, instead of just feeding them, bi-weekly or weekly or whatever. It's interesting to see how they react from these meals. Like some of them just have a slower metabolism. Some of them, like, you can't feed them enough. I don't know. I started to see my snakes get thick for a while there, and that's when I really noticed it. Like I just backed off from every 7 to 10 days to every 2 weeks, and they like thinned out so quick. And then since then I've been just putting them on their separate schedules for the most part. But
yeah, I'm still trying to work on getting the perfect feeding schedule down for my two, because I mean, she was sold to me as, well, what she was sold to me as and what I was told she was after I bought her were two different things. But I also didn't I got her from a well-known breeder, a very well-known breeder, but a breeder that really doesn't work with his own stuff, if you know what I'm saying.
mm-hmm.
So she was sold to me as a 50% dwarf, and I think it was 35%, 37.5% Slayer, 12.5% jam, or something along those lines. And then after talking to him about 10 months after I got her, the percentage changed on me. And then the salesman who sold her to me quit working for him. And I was trying to get, like, because they gave Adam, he's commenting and watching right now, but they gave Adam some paperwork with his that he bought from them. And so I was kind of inquiring about the same with like the lineage and stuff. And that's when everything kind of went downhill, I'd say, on what she was. So, I mean, I'm kind of almost like 100% sure I was sold a normal name at this point.
You don't think she has
her lineage just got so screwy that I'm not messing with her lineage.
Either way, you got to think Slayer is just dwarf,
right?
Which will hit the 14-foot mark, or a little bit bigger.
Right.
So just give it time and see, as far as size-wise. But time will tell.
Yeah, she just turned 2. January 6th. So for a 2-year-old, yeah, she's a pretty. Let me see if I can.
Here, there you go. Eric Vogel says hi, everybody.
What's up?
Hey, Eric, how's it going?
Look at those clean lines. Wow.
Yeah, she is definitely, like, I love her regardless of her lineage. She is a sweetheart, and she has personally taught me a lot.
Patience?
Patience, yeah. She was
Cardio.
Yeah, she was real fun when I first got her. You know, she wanted nothing to do with me.
You grab
But
So yeah, there's nothing wrong with having a solid, normal female, you know.
no, not at all. I love her, and she's honestly, even at her size, I bring her out more around the kids than I do my little dwarf, super dwarf male.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's perfectly fine. I mean, especially out of the cage, he hasn't, besides food strikes, he hasn't attempted to, you know, bite me once out of like defensiveness or nothing. So
It's one of my favorites.
oh man, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is the only mainland we have. He's a pied tiger head albino he came from Bob Clark initially.
Oh man, yeah.
That's-
Bob Clark's always produced some really nice looking animals.
But I got him. He actually came from Seth Zelenik. And then
Really?
I can't remember. Sorry, Seth.
Seth Zelenik.
Oh, is that considered high white?
No, I would say like mid.
Is it
Yeah,
mid?
he's not very high white. Here.
I like the lower of the whites. Just because I love the pattern, how it messes everything up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But yeah, Seth was wanting to get rid of him, and I'm like, man, I want a pie so bad. Please, can I get it?
We're not going to have any mainlands. Famous last words. Like, I got nervous when we got Duchess. I was like, 25% locality? Like, that's not like, this is going to be a big animal. And then lo and behold, now we've got showtime.
Adam wants to know, do you guys plan on breeding it to any of your other localities, or?
I don't think we're ruling anything out at this point.
Yeah. It's a possibility. Like I plan on getting more pure stuff, but right now we have a Coyote female that, you know, maybe down the road we do something with her, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm really into wanting to focus completely on the locality stuff. So putting all that time and everything into waiting for pieds, I don't know. Somebody else is working on it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
It'd be cool to get one, but
You guys gonna try and get into the Madus then, or
the Madus? Yeah, I want to get whatever we can get, for sure. Like, even the dwarf localities, like Solayers. Like, I'd really love to get a pair of Solayers, and Kathy won't let me, but I want a pair of those Bontang Sulas. Like, I just love the locality stuff, no matter what it is. So.
Yeah, see, I've always liked the look of, I think, the Balis with the yellow heads.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Man, that's a beautiful looking Retic. You know what I mean? Just normal with the yellow head. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, those are super, super cool. But I can't keep everything, so I'm gonna have to focus on just like the Dwarf and Superdwarf stuff. But like, you could go crazy. You could get into those Halmaheras or the Ternates, you know.
We also have more than just the snakes at this time. We have a fish tank. But our son was really excited about lizards, and he wanted to get into like monitors. And so thinking about the different types of monitors that were available, I was all too excited to land on a tegu. So in October for his birthday, we got him a blue tegu.
Which is not a monitor.
Which, no, I understand that tegus are not a monitor, but I'm saying it was that, or let's go find a monitor. And I'm like, So we got a tegu, and we have caging coming for him. He's getting a pretty big cage right now, and he's still just a little baby. But we've got an 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot cage on its way. And the thought of, how many of those we're going to need for bontangs and anything else that we decide to collect along the way. I'm pretty excited about the localities at this point. Like, how small can we get them? Because caging is going to get to be a space premium real quick, I think.
Yeah, we've already run out of space. And I haven't even gotten the cages in here yet. We ordered cages from AP, and the wait time is like 6 months or something crazy. So I have plenty of time to remodel the house or something.
Yeah, I was talking to Garrett.
Build an addition.
Yeah, you got to buy another building.
Yeah. That's what Garrett said. We were talking about new animals coming out, and I said, I don't know what we're going to do. He's like, you just need to get a new building. Like, just build a shop out there and start putting animals in there.
Be the way
we might
to
do
do it.
that eventually.
Yeah. So that's showtime.
You guys have a little bit of property, right? Like, I watched your intro video and everything.
Yeah, we just have like 4.5 acres. Just enough to where I don't have to talk to my neighbors when I go outside. It's perfect.
Hi, Tim, if you're watching.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying on it now. It's 5 acres, and we still have neighbors that get too nosy for my liking sometimes. But
oh yeah,
I don't like neighbors. I mean, I know you understand. You're an outdoors guy too, so I know you're probably not the biggest fan of neighbors.
Yeah, it's nice to have some property. Like, we do have a shop out there that I might end up putting our snakes in eventually, but that's when they start paying for themselves.
Right.
Anyway,
I like the idea of having a shop outside my house, but then again, it like makes me nervous too.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been torn on like keeping somewhere else besides my place. You know what I mean? Because I know at home I'm able to keep a closer eye as opposed to like going to a shop for 8-10 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
At home, if the thermostat goes out or something, I can always fix the problem and I'll know about it. But
Keith, you have retics?
I have one normal.
Nice.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
Give it time.
I play with Josh's all the time, so
Nice.
it works out.
Yeah.
How many do you have, Josh?
Retic wise?
Yeah.
he's got to account real quick.
It's a lot.
13.
He's got to carry the one up for.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mess around with a lot between retics, sperms,
boas,
blood pythons,
Other side.
Oh.
a couple different things.
Yeah, he just purchased a really cool like Amazon tree boa.
Oh, nice.
They're fun.
That is cool. I'm trying really, really hard to stay focused. Like, we have those 4-ball pythons and now the tegu, but like,
And Isabel.
yeah, we have a Brazilian rainbow boa that we were given too, but
Then
as far as buying other things, I think we're just gonna stick with buying retics until the retics can buy other things for us.
Yeah, because in the monitor, I have a now monitor.
Oh wow.
They're cool. He's all right.
He's
We'll
great.
work with him trying to go once he's out. He's like anything. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
Now, what's the temperament on your guys' tegu like?
Oh, he's good. Like, we haven't held him as much as we should. I'm sure. Like, from what I understand, you should hold them just as much as you possibly can. But he's good. Like, he doesn't get all sketched out when I reach in there as much anymore. He was getting to where we could like just put our hand in there and like kind of put it under his stomach and pick him up. But
yeah,
now because we went out of town and we just haven't been holding him as much, he's like backpedaled a little bit, but he's not freaked out. He's never tried to bite or anything. He just will like start doing a death roll when you pick him up, and just do whatever he can to get out of your hands.
But he's in like a high traffic area too. Like the boys, like he's right next to the kitchen, and the kids are always in there. Like he hears our voices all the time, and it's nice that he's not like in a separate room where you walk in the room, turn the light on, and he freaks out. So
Right.
totally.
He's forced to live in the chaos. He's learned to deal with it pretty well.
Survival
It's
fittest.
right in the kids' playroom, like the loudest possible place. It's like, this is you figuring out what your new life looks like, little one.
Right, that was kind of like with my Retics when they first got here. I mean, I didn't have space in my bedroom or anything else. All they could do is go in the living room, and everyone's like, "No, you don't want to do that, it's baby Retics." Well, I mean, they're great. So, I think
Get some accustomed to motion.
Yeah, it's just like a baby. You don't try to be quiet whenever you have a baby, because then you always have to be quiet when they're trying to sleep. If you
Somehow we followed all those rules with our first two children, and then forgot about all of them for our third one. We've been paying for that. That's so funny you mentioned that about the sleeping, because we totally did that with our first two. It's like, no, like there's going to be noise in the house. They'll learn to sleep through the noise.
They sleep off.
Huh?
But once they're out, they're out.
Yeah, and now like our third, when he was taking naps and stuff, it was like, boys, be quiet. It's like,
Yeah.
They look at me like, you weren't quiet for me. Like, what are you talking about?
right.
Adam said, Josh, with the experience you have, what is your favorite to keep?
Favorite to keep?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really like the white lips. But my favorite, I'd have to say, it's a toss-up between Retics and Berms. But
Do berms push?
no, I really have had no issues with the Berms. Even if you'll catch them pushing on some, but I even feel like the shape of their head, it's so much different than the Retics that me and my brother Alex were just talking about it the other day, is you never see damage done to a berm that pushes. Like, I don't know if it's just how their nose is more round, it all just kind of flows. Whereas if you ever see a Retic pushing, you're watching their lip go up, and they really, hammer down.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have that issue with berms. The berms are pretty laid back and chilled in their enclosure and out of their enclosure. That's why I say I like them, because that's something I can go sit on a couch, and handle for a while watching a movie, and they'll just hang out on your chest. A Retic wants to go. If I pulled out, a 12-foot berm compared to a 12-foot Retic, that Retic is going to knock over everything.
Right.
If you tried sitting on a couch, it's going after, going up on something.
Yeah.
Did you say, Josh, that you have blood pythons too?
Yeah.
Is there a temperament? Does it live up to the reputation?
Okay. No, they're awesome, which is actually funny you say this. I haven't had any issues in the past years of keeping them. And my brother Alex was over, and I did have a female up there, but I moved her over to a bigger tote because she didn't seem too happy in that top enclosure. So I have pictures of her, I could sit there and hold her head, nothing. My brother Alex, I feel like some of my snakes don't like him. Well, the female, she came that close to his face. And he was up on a ladder trying to get her out of that top enclosure. But after that, I got her down, everything, and she didn't strike at me. Was perfectly fine, put her away, never had a problem. I don't know if it's just she didn't like him, but just like you were saying, like they seem to know the different people. Like some of my snakes, I hand them off to someone, I'm trying to clean and they're trying to get back onto my arm. Like they know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then what Popeye was used in educational stuff with Scott, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's awesome. My tournament stuff. He's pretty big blood. If he didn't just yesterday, I'd say I'd pull him out. But Everybody just ate yesterday. Except for the ones that aren't in shed, or the ones that are in shed, and you know, you're talking about that.
All right, what you got, Conrad?
This is my male Henry Golden. Well, see, the lighting kills me every time because it's super hard. I mean, he looks really dark, and he's really not that dark. And, I mean, it all depends on how light hits him, I guess. But yeah, this is my almost 2-year-old male Henry Golden Child, pass head albino from Garrett.
Yeah.
25% caliber.
Nice.
I think a caveat with all retics is the classic disclaimer of the camera doesn't do it justice. Like, really, you can't
never.
They don't sit still long enough.
No,
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I love photoing berms. They're awesome in front of the camera.
Yeah,
so if you're trying to get good pictures, berms are the easiest to do that with.
Yeah, those Christmas pictures we took were the easiest ones ever.
Literally, they just always hold that perfect pose. Retics, I have maybe 2 that will actually sit still for a picture, but the rest of them, you take 100 and hope that you get one that's not blurry.
Yeah, it's very challenging.
People
respect
such a good
picture.
Like, I took like 200 and picked one. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't feel as good about that one picture. It's like, wow, I took a great picture, but it took me 300 to get that one.
Yeah.
Now, what was that on? Was that on the Canon T6 Rebel one, or?
No, if I'm using the Canon, I do like my whole little setup and pictures. But I'm talking about if I'm just trying to get a picture to post on Facebook or wherever, and I'm just holding them. I'm just sitting there, just click, 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 click. The retics, you usually can't really get a good one in the whole setup because I do like a stick across, and retics like to just keep on going up. So they end up on the outside of the light box. They're just interesting to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't sit still at all.
Now,
I find that. Go ahead.
When you guys take pictures of your snakes, do you guys just use your phone cameras, or do you guys have like a camera that you guys use, or?
Well, I bought from a buddy of mine a Canon 80D, and so I've been just working with that I got it over the summer, so I've been working with that ever since. And a lot of the time I feel so frustrated that I'm just like, I know I could take a better picture with my phone. So I'm going to put down this expensive brick here and just use my phone.
It just sucks. The phones will, I'll sit there and stare at them like, is this really the same color as my snake? You know, like,
right.
It just messes with my head sometimes. I'll be there with them in my hand. I'm like, it looks like you, but I'm not sure, And it just, nothing ever does them justice. I like outdoor photos. It's my favorite.
That's the best. Like, our room has a slight green tinge to the walls. Somebody, before we bought this house, did that. And so it's close enough to white to where it just looks like, it just throws the lighting off in here. So it makes it difficult.
Oh, yeah. And natural sunlight is just, I think, the best.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always my favorite pictures, and it only takes like 4 or 5 to get a good picture. In here, you're like trying to catch the light in a certain way to show iridescence, and it's hard to do indoor photos.
Are you guys in Michigan?
No, I'm in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm in Michigan. They're out Pittsburgh.
So you guys are dealing with the similar issue of you can only bring them outside for like 4 to 5 months a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It sucks because we had like a 40-degree day the other day. I'm like, oh, sweet t-shirt weather. It was like nice out, and I still couldn't take because it was nice out to me. I still couldn't take the snakes out, because it's too cold for them. But it was like a really nice day out. Like the snow is all melted. I'm like, wow.
I can't wait to get warm again. That's always, like I said, that's my favorite pictures. And I'll be holding one. I'm like, all right, I got to go, take a picture outside. And it's just, you get the best pictures out there.
I thought it was going to get warm here soon, and then it snowed today.
Well,
Fooled me.
we're going to have 3 more days of cold, and then it goes back up to the 50s. Pittsburgh, you never know. It could be 80, and then it could snow the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the same day at that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what sucks about Michigan. I mean, we got tons of like, if you like hunting and fishing, Michigan's like the place to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big whitetail.
Yeah, I do a lot of. I do deer hunt, but I fill my tags, and that's that. But when it comes to like upland hunting for like grouse and woodcock and stuff, I do a lot of that. A lot of like waterfowl and stuff, and it's fun.
Yeah, we in the summertime we're always out in the mountains. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I wish I lived in a place where the herping was a little bit better. Like, there's still somewhat cool stuff here. Like, we have rubber boas and like gopher snakes and garter snakes, but
see, I would think that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's realistically what you're used to around your area. It's not as exciting if you traveled and was like, never caught one of these.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
that's it. Like, those 3 species are pretty much it. So, and you got like 2 months to go find them.
Yeah.
But
Going into Orlando the first time last year, we flew into Orlando, and I was looking around realizing like if the plane went down right here in the Everglades, like they would never find us. And I'm used to North Idaho, so I'm like, I will take black bear, grizzly, and cougars over the mysteries of the swamplands any day. And the thought that like you see like all these venomous snakes out in the like you go for a walk through the woods and got to watch your kids and stuff. And here it's like there's really not much in terms of like poisonous plants and things like that you have to be worried about.
we just have large predators.
Yeah. But like that's way less scary to me than like scorpions and stuff that we had back in Phoenix, like scorpions and rattlesnakes. And
Not only that, you could see the bear coming 9 times out of 10.
I mean, we also
Scorpion
don't
can
get
sneak
many
past you.
disasters here in Michigan. We get like small tornadoes and stuff, but like, I mean, you might get snowed in for a few hours or something like that in the winter. But other than that, we don't get like hurricanes or anything crazy. So I'm okay with that. We don't get like big tornadoes or nothing.
That's like the first time I went to California. Went to my aunt's house, and she's like, make sure you shake your shoes out. What? It's like every time you put your shoes on, shake much. She's like, there could be a spider or scorpion in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, but they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I actually, it was a lot of fun being out there. I can't wait to go to Myrtle Beach and I have my daughter's 2. She's gonna be 3, and then my son just turned 5. I want to take him down Myrtle Beach catching nulls. Something I used to love doing that as a kid, just running around and watch little lizards running around.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
That is fun.
We were at a business conference in Orlando back in September, and Brian was catching the little geckos or the little anoles or whatever they were in like the planter out in front of the big corporate office building. Like we were taking a 15-minute break in between like, back-to-back sessions, and he's out there like in full dress clothes, like a tie, and he's like catching little geckos, and I'm taking pictures. And
it's like being a little kid again.
yeah, it was awesome. The people on their break were like, "You guys are not from around here, are you?"
Yeah, like I said, the people we work with aren't entertained by
the people like all different. Like they're all different types of people at this corporate office plaza or whatever, but.
Right.
Yeah, it was interesting.
For sure.
That's part of the awesome, that's part of the cool thing about traveling. Like you go to Southeast Asia and just check out the different types of lizards and frogs and things that you see there. And like in Costa Rica, the iguanas are all on the rooftops. So you're in like these clay, tile houses or whatever. And there's like 5-foot iguanas sitting on the rooftop. And that's just awesome. We don't get that in Idaho.
Yeah,
I think to everyone else, that's probably like it's became so normalized that's not really appreciated, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As a herper, if you go out and see stuff like that, you really appreciate it more, you know, because it's just that much more cooler to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, coming from Michigan, that's still kind of insane for me to see. I don't get to travel too much, but when I do, I'm always out looking. So.
What do you guys use radiant heat panels at all?
No.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
They don't.
How big are your cages that you have it on?
So my 4x2x2s, I both of mine are by varying electronic radiant heat panels. So my 4x2x2 run 80 watts, and then my 6x3x2 runs a 120 watt. And the way I have it set up is I run shelves because all my cages are 2 foot high. So I run shelves somewhere about midway, and then I'll put the probe on the shelf and set it to where I want like my hot spot to be, because the shelf will act as my hot spot, and then from there it'll just, you know, there'll be a temperature gradient from them.
Nice. On all of these cages, I've been running those Ultratherm heat pads you can get from Reptile Basics, and I just figured when I got the 6-footers, that's when I would take the step to the radiant heat panels. So that's what I did. We, in like April or May of 5 years from now, we'll get our 6-foot cages, and I can't wait to see.
I know Josh personally doesn't like the radiant heat panels because, like, it all depends. Everyone uses like where they put their probe. Everyone does it differently, you know. I've seen people put the probe right on the heat panels. I've seen, you know, and to me that's not really putting a lot of heat out there, because they do get warmer. See, Josh doesn't like them because they do get warm to the touch, like extremely warm.
Pretty hot
sometimes. Yeah,
and especially if your thermostat on it, it's not killing it at 90. You know, some of them can reach well over 120 degrees. Just wasn't a big fan of it. I had one for a little while, and I didn't care for it. Also, I feel like the electric bill even went up higher with running, because I do heat pads and then I do the lights. I still do it old fashioned with heat lights. Kind of sucks to do that, because then you're playing with different watt bulbs, trying to figure out what, because you're going to run your bottom one hotter than your middle one, because or a bigger bulb, because then you got heat rising. So it's pretty much a lot of just play and go, but I've got it down to a pretty good setup now that I'm comfortable with everything.
I think that's with anything, though, whether you're using lights, pads, tape.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes time to key it in perfectly.
Yeah, it's just.
I will say that they do get hot to the touch, but the only problem I've really personally had with them is if you're running them. I've noticed that my Retics really likes to unplug stuff in her cage, and they do come unplugged pretty easily. So
yeah, I saw.
I ended up
read about that.
Mine.
Yeah, so
the cord.
What was that, Josh?
No, like how you were saying, I had it in Goliath for a little while, and dude, I tried everything to keep the probe where I wanted it. And somehow he'd knock it down every time and drag it to the opposite end, or, and I just, after months of dealing with it, I'm like, I'm just over it. Because then you'd have a sky high rocket in temp, because now it's on the cold side, and that radiant heat panel is just trying to heat that space.
Yeah.
Adam said RHP takes some time to get used to. He doesn't care for them, and he had better luck with belly heat, and that his has gotten 120 plus at times. Plus, the electric bill definitely went up. So, yeah.
Definitely. I don't have the heat tape, and a lot of people I know use the heat tape. It's the old school way that always worked.
Yeah. I know, like Richard Bilbo, he does back heat. I'm pretty sure, either back or belly heat. I can't remember, but he uses just regular flex watt. And that was surprising to me. But
it would be like just like a big tub, how they have the belly heat and back heat. I guess work the same way. Because I also my room, my ambient temperature in my room, my all around room temp is always at 85.
Oh wow.
So I always keep this room, it can get hot, especially on cleaning day. Start sweating pretty quickly.
Yeah, I keep my room at like 75.
Yeah,
really?
It's about where mine's at, 75.
Do you guys have humidity? Like, do you have a humidifier? Do you mist yours regularly? Or?
Oh, I mist every night. And then also on the heater, because I run like a little heater in the middle of the room, I'll do the boil of water on top of it. So that's all putting out, trying to keep it at least as moist as I can in here.
Yeah.
All right. We recently, I don't know, it's been a month now or so, put a humidifier in our room. I'm sure you guys have heard about this like white dust that comes from the humidifiers.
No.
Anyways, there's like this white dust that gets all over everything, like the glass especially, and black surfaces.
It's like a calcium buildup.
Right. So we started putting filtered water in that thing and like cleaning the sensor all the time, and it still comes out like crazy. I don't know. But we don't have a lot of minerals in our water, so I'm not sure.
So
maybe just use distilled water.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I know the small humidifier I have, it was recommended to only use distilled water. That might be why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I figure most people probably wouldn't ever notice because, like, any other sort, like you can't see it on the carpet or the flag or anything else. Like if it was in a bedroom, you'd never even know it was there. But when you have, mass amounts of black sheen plastic and acrylic doors, you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Because I was honest, when I thought about getting one before, but so I have like my actual heater vent blocked off. So to try to keep it so it doesn't dry out the air. And then later I run it's a little like radiator heater. With a bowl of water. And it seems to do pretty good.
That's a good idea. We've got an oil-filled one in the middle of the room.
Yeah, same thing.
Let's see, we got Chris Dodge says hi. Adam wants to know, does Bilbo cover the heat source with something, or does he attach it on the outside? And let's see. Chris also said, let's see some snakes. And Adam said, pH kits for aquariums can alkaline the water.
Yeah, so Bilbo, I don't know. I'd have to look back in the messages that he sent me. I can't remember. I really want to say that he does back heat. Can't remember. It could be belly heat, but it's definitely it's definitely just like standard flex watt, and probably like I think it comes in 11-inch wide sections.
Yeah, they do that.
But yeah, and he runs I think it's called the T25. It's the 6 foot by 30-inch deep by 18-inch high AP cages. So that's what we ended up going with also when they come. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So when you guys asked about humidity, like Josh said, he ran a humidifier in his. In mine, I used like in his room. In mine, I used to run like them like small like humidifiers with the tubes that go in each cage, and I would run them just for like 15, 20 minutes a day just to get the humidity up. And I actually caught a crap ton of backlash for it. What was it? Everyone's like, you're gonna end up giving your snakes an RI by running those things. So I ended up taking them out, and from what I've gathered, a lot of people actually don't worry. Like a lot of people I've talked to won't worry too much about the humidity till shedding time comes. Like in the winter, like around here, like everyone says their cages get down to like 15% humidity, which to me, I think my house is. I think mine probably stay around 50%.
I think where the Retics come from, who did the video? Dave
Kaufman.
Yeah, Dave Kaufman.
And he said every night their humidity went up to like 80%.
Yeah, that's how I try to keep it. Even after I seen that, it made me think of how I even do things. Was I do spray at night, and then in the daytime I have my lights on, which then dries everything back out. And then I just mist back down at night. But you don't want something that's always wet. Daytime anywhere usually dries out unless it's raining.
It would be hard to regulate one single room for multiple different types of species too, though, because they don't all require the same environment.
Right.
So
that's like a big reason why I want to just focus on one project. Do it right.
Adam said thanks. Chris said nice retic, and also wants to know who is your biggest. So I think
our biggest snake is Duchess. She's probably like 8 feet long. She's not all that big. So they're growing quickly though. We're feeding them, and I don't know, to a reasonable level. We're like I mentioned before when I was talking about their feeding schedules. I'm trying to find the right pace for them in their different stages of life. But I think with this one, I found the happy medium of like getting her up to size by this next fall, and like not feeding her like so much she just wants to go into a coma.
So you guys
but anyways, the humidity thing, I didn't really notice. So this is kind of crazy. I don't know that a lot of people do this, but like every time that we clean our snakes, again, I know this is crazy, but every time we clean our snakes, I put them in tubs with water, and like some of them really love it, some of them don't. But I do it just to like keep them hydrated and clean, So they're not in there long, but they're in there like 10 minutes or something like that. So anyways, that seemed to be, like I mentioned before, we're pretty new to working with retics. So over the spring and summer of this last year, when we were figuring things out, the humidity levels seemed fine. Like they just with soaking them around shed time, and then when I was cleaning, they always had like decent sheds. But then when winter came, my furnace dried out this room so bad that their sheds started getting like just bad. And that's when we put the humidifier in here, and it seemed to make a big impact. So
someone was asking about who our biggest one is. This is Duchess. And she's, what'd you say, probably 8 or 9 feet?
Yes, 8 feet probably.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool. Her head is like much more yellow than her body. I don't know how much that comes through.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and that's one thing I've always liked about the Golden Child is the way lighter head compared to the rest of the body. I mean, I've seen some Golden Childs with like pitch black heads almost.
Yeah. Or like super, like a motley Golden Childs that are like really black, and then their head's like a tan color with black head, with like solid black head stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those
pretty cool.
Golden Child are just beautiful. I like them.
I don't know. I feel like
I've heard people complain about them because once you start mixing it into everything, I can see where like you have trouble telling everything apart. But Golden Child, the standalone, or like a Motley, Henry Golden Child, they all are pretty.
Yeah, the Golden Child Motley is definitely the way to go. With I feel Golden Child. Yeah. But other than that, Golden Child in itself, they're gorgeous. So I feel like if you do have something like that, you try to keep it. Like how we were talking last live was whenever people get 7 genes into one animal, especially with golden child, is just gonna wipe everything. You honestly don't know what's all in them.
Yeah, so we only have, including the snake, the male that we're waiting for, and then the mainland male, we only have 3 males. So that leaves us with like 11 females or something. And of all of our animals, we have 2 golden childs, right? Yeah, we have 2 golden childs, and I feel like that's enough. Because like you said, it can kind of take over, I think, if you had too many. Yeah.
Chris said he wants to see a golden child mixed with cow.
Yeah, the golden child cows, those are cool.
Is that the one we held at J?
I'm not sure if that was a golden child or not. I can't ever tell. Like, I'm trying to just make sense of the stuff that I'm working on, and it's easy to get distracted with everything they're doing with cows, you know? Like, it's already advancing so quickly, it seems.
So I don't know if other people are joining. Do you want to introduce Cleo again?
She's 50% Slayer. She's a tiger head albino.
We pulled them all out at the very beginning. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So if you sat through the whole thing, you're seeing doubles.
And this girl is awesome.
Yeah.
She's definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Chris just joined us a little bit ago, so.
What's up, Chris? This is Cleopatra. She says hi.
Yep. So we're probably just about tapped out for this next year as far as acquiring new animals, but
Famous last words.
Yeah, until you see that one.
yeah, exactly. I think last year I ran out of my cards that were like if we could only make this happen, you know, like we only made it happen like 5 times last year for ones we didn't think that we'd be able to get.
This one will never be available again.
Yeah, if we could only pull this one off, it's like, okay, we did that, and now you're looking for the next one. Leave me alone.
That's Josh for you.
No. Get anything new?
Yeah, I don't know. All that locality stuff that Garrett's gonna have this year is just that's gonna be hard to pass up on, but
no.
It'll feel a lot better when it's not coming out of our normal pay when I'm buying animals in the future.
Yeah, when the animals start paying
trading or
something, it feels a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, and it's cool because they all you can do things with each other. It's not like with the different morphs and stuff. It's not like once you get one, you have to wait for like the opposite sex of the exact same thing. It's like, well, I can cross this in with this, so it's not like you have to buy pairs of everything, or like I have to buy these 2 because they're compatible. It's like that's part of the excitement for me is like we could just get a normal pied like mainland and then breed it to other things we have. So it doesn't have to fit into like a breeding project because we started out with like very focused, like this is going to be our project. This is going to be like, we're those people. And then, you know, it gets thrown in of like, but this is one we thought we'd never own. This is one we thought we'd never own too. And then all of a sudden you've got like 8 projects. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you guys have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See, I'm at that focused part on where I got a project in mind, but I'll get to that part where it's just all over the place.
It feels good to have focus though, and then something really tempting comes along, and you're like, we need to have that, and then it's like it doesn't fit in our project. It doesn't fit in the project. It makes it a whole lot easier to say no.
That always happens. Like my pied. I got the pied. I never really planned on it. I always wanted one, but never, shot out and tried to find one, and we don't really have them too available around here. And my buddy had called me, said he had one, so then we went out and got het pieds. So just another reason to add more stuff in.
Mm-hmm. You still get that one, and then you just have to hunt for the matching puzzle piece.
Yeah. Like my white lip, I still need a female southern white lip. So if anyone out there, can help me out, let me know. But it took me years to find a builder. Because you can find northern white-lipped, you can find them all the time. But the southerns are just, I've never come across them.
Are you breeding this year, Josh?
Yeah, I have a couple pairings going on. We got carpet pythons going this season, a couple retics. We'll be producing A-males and an A-male sunfires off the one.
Nice.
And we got jaguar carpet pythons. Then
did all that A-male stuff come from Samson Pruitt?
No. Not that I know of originally. Not mine. Scott Hollabaugh was the one that produced these ones. But I'm not sure where the original line from.
I asked him the same thing because you always see Samson posting A-male stuff. So
yeah.
No.
I'm curious.
Because even Jay, Historic, works with A-male. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to actually look into it and see how far back I can trace it. Yeah. But I just love the A-males. It was different. The only thing that sucks is you can't really do anything with between the white phase and the purple phase. I think the A-male, there's a difference about them, the coloring, as far as being albino.
Right.
That was way different.
Yeah, they are different. They're pretty cool looking. I like how bright white the white is in them.
Yeah. But no one really works with them. So that was one thing that I really liked them. So that's what I wanted to work with. And hopefully people will enjoy it, when we produce and stuff.
Yeah. Definitely. How about you, Keith? Are you breeding?
A couple ball pythons, and then I got carpet python over at Josh's with his. That's pretty much it this year. Everything else still too young.
Yeah. I had berms again this season. Probably a few different kinds of boas. A couple, mix up. But it's between me, Keith, and my other brother, Alex. So we have 3 households, filled with different stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so we can actually, I really want a building. Because we're trying to buy a house this year coming up and add on a building onto it. Or hopefully find somewhere that already has something attached that'll be able to take over everything.
Yeah, you're running out of space over there.
Yeah.
Is it a rental, and does your landlord know?
Oh, yeah.
That was one other thing. Our first collection, when we had the snakes in the bedrooms and our master bedroom was in the living room, very classy, but it was a rental house. And I think that we weren't allowed to have a dog there or something, or we had to get breed approval for our dog. And so the thought was we're going to have to buy a house at some point, because as the collection just grew and grew, past the initial couple dozen, we knew it wasn't going to stay under wraps for long.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot
Where
of
travels fast in a small town.
That don't allow snakes and stuff, and I never understood it. You see people all the time saying that they're selling a snake because they're moving into a house and the landlord won't let them have it. I'm sitting there thinking but they'll allow a cat or a dog in, but not snakes. That's just because they don't like snakes personally. Yeah. It has nothing to do. A snake is not going to ruin a house.
Yeah, there's no property damage involved there
at all. They're in enclosures.
No noise complaints from neighbors. I mean, it's great.
Their dander is mild.
Yeah.
It might get lost in the heater. That's about it.
I mean, my snakes don't bark that I know of. So.
If they do, get it on camera. I want to see that. It's okay.
I have to take some coaching.
Reptiles.
Throw them a few milk bones or something.
Yeah.
See what happens.
One of everything, how we were even talking before, was how they try to pass all these laws. And it's people that they're not into snakes. They don't care about snakes. They're not. But in the same way that they care about a dog or a cat, most of us care about a snake that way, or a lizard, or, everybody has their own thing, and people need to learn to just let people have their own thing.
Yeah.
Don't let irrational fear get in the way of it, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all. No ban, like gun bans, snake, exotic animal bans, none of that's all based off irrational fear.
We're gonna need another hour and a half for that one.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
won't get into like guns or nothing. But
Folks, this is the end of
like,
part one. Join us next time.
yeah, maybe next time we'll get into guns or something. But it's any type of ban that they try and push through normally has to deal with irrational fears that people have, and it's just not right. It's unhealthy. So
They said people just need to let people be who they are.
Chris said buy a bus and turn it into a house. And one of his friends moved into an apartment and they found a 5-foot Burmese in the wall. That's
What?
crazy. Yeah, that's nuts.
Was it a normal pattern or was it a morph?
right.
Yeah,
The real
well,
questions here.
Seth Zelenick also said, I am a huge fan of Reptile Revival.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll see what he says here in a second.
Yeah, it's like Facebook. It lags a few seconds behind.
Yeah, he said normal.
Because if it was an albino or something like that, that would be really cool, like a caramel.
Okay, was it alive? I guess is.
That's a better question.
Yeah. If not, how would you find it?
When we had corn snakes, we lost one of them, I think, in a vent, like a little tiny one, and they're the size of like a small pencil. They're so small. And shortly after that, we had our first litter of red-tailed boas, and after that, I was like, I never want to do like colubrids again. Like, let's just do all big snakes because those do not get lost under vents. Like, they don't sneak out of air holes, for the most part. So I was sold on big snakes after that. So when we got into them this time, and Brian's like, we should start having snakeskin. I'm like, done, let's do it. Nothing small, please. Like, I just love the big ones so much. They're more predictable, I think. Like the little ones, like garter snakes, do nothing for me.
Colubrids all around. I like, seeing them and seeing it, but I'm not a fan of owning them.
Of what? The small ones?
Colubrids. Anything as far as king snakes, like I said, they're cool colored, but that's exactly it. You have to watch what you put them in. And I don't see the interaction that you do with like a retic or a boa or any of the pythons. It's just a whole different, I feel like, thought process going through there.
Yeah, it's more like you're looking at something rather than interacting with it. Yeah. And I think that was such a big difference. So like the colubrids, they were so easy to breed. It was so cool because those are the first ones we ever bred were corn snakes. And you put them in there and you're like, oh, yeah, that's just what the book said they would do. And then, however many days later after incubating, they all hatched and they were so cool. And you had 15 different colors. And I think we had 2 triple hets or something that we put together. And it was like, oh, awesome. It was just like total textbook. And then with the boas, it was like, there is a science to this husbandry. And it was a hard work. And so the payoff just was so much more rewarding than like we put some corn snake eggs in an incubator. I don't know.
Chris said it was alive and it was during mounting a TV they found it.
Wow.
That's
sweet.
Nuts. Oh yeah.
Did they keep it?
I would hope so. They just left it in the wall. It's fine.
Patch it back up. It's in the bark.
Go home, little buddy.
I'm sure there's plenty of mice in there for it.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any questions for us about our direction or anything?
If any of the viewers have any questions,
Shared quite a bit. Yeah, but if any of the viewers have questions.
Has it been a long year of acquiring new snakes? Yes, it has. Is it going to be an amazing year to 2 years when we start producing some of the progeny of what we've got now? Yes, it's going to be incredible. I'm so excited. And like Brian said, I think like we met a lot of people at Carpet Fest last year, and it was this awesome like introduction to the industry. because you've got so many people from different walks of life all together, and just to be able to like sit around and listen to everyone talk, like this is a really cool industry. I don't think you see that, like that genuine. It was just so easy to like get to know people, and we meet a lot of people in our work and just different walks of life, and the reptile industry is a pretty cool one to be a part of.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
with a lot of it, I know most of the people I've reached out to, like, mostly anyone who's really passionate about reptiles can go on for hours, you know, like, it just, you can't, it's hard to kind of stop conversations.
We have yet to do an hour long video yet.
Every single time we're like 1 hour, and this has been 1 hour and 35 minutes already. So
you guys invited
so I started telling people, I'm like, well, they typically, like, we say they're gonna run an hour.
Never does.
They typically run longer. We've had like one run a little bit shorter, but I warned
you. It's a good thing we haven't had any coffee this late in the day.
Yeah, I got my energy drink, so.
Yeah, I had some coffee. Chris said, what's our thoughts on the Florida ban with iguanas and tegus? I heard there's a big ban going on.
Go on and vote no.
Yeah, I haven't heard about the Florida one.
No, that's what's going on now.
Yeah, they're
I thought it was
pushing.
just PA.
No. What I sent you was Florida.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one Scott sent me was PA.
No.
Yeah, they're
That's a
trying
whole
to put
different link.
ban in PA too
Yeah, it was PA.
against exotics right now.
Which one? Hold on. Because maybe I didn't look at the same one.
Anyway, I look at like how we were just talking about, where people just want to take things that they're not into away from them. It's not something they enjoy.
Yeah.
But once we let them take one thing, you know, I'm not a big fan of people owning alligators.
Okay, wait. Focus.
Okay, yeah, I see that one.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the one you sent me.
okay, yeah, all right. I voted no on it.
Have you voted, Keith?
Yeah, I voted no.
Okay.
And actually, a couple times. And I had a friend spam the no button too.
One thing from you, or two things. It gives the doors open up for them to take everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Every right you have, it just no. Like at the end of the day, there are people that probably shouldn't own half the stuff that they have, and then there's a lot of people that are doing it right and doing well by these animals, and they're going to be the ones suffering for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say, those who know the least usually know it the loudest. And, the people that are doing it wrong are probably out there. Yeah, I think there's a lot of irresponsibility that is way more public than, like you said, the masses that are quietly just keeping their collections in a responsible way. And I think that attempts to try to remove personal responsibility is a slippery slope.
Now, here's the thing also. I can walk outside and I guarantee there's probably 3 cats from the crazy cat lady down the street walking in front of my house right now.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I hear them out there meowing, I thought it was my kid, yelling for her mom one night. And it's literally what they sound like. But, people don't make a big deal out of that. But they'll make a big deal, I don't want to see an alligator walking down the street. It shouldn't happen if you keep them correctly. But if it did, I don't see how people make such a big deal out of it compared to the cats running around or
feral cats are actually the most destructive cats in general, but feral house cats are the most destructive thing to natural wildlife and natural ecosystems, because cats are one of the few animals that kill for fun. Like, they just do it because it's fun to them. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched a cat, but half the time they kill something, they just walk away. Like,
I'll be outside cooking, and we'll feed the rabbits in our yards. And there's always baby rabbits every year. And every year, most of the cats get them. I'll be sitting there, feeding them, and out of nowhere, a cat will run up and grab one. It's crazy. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the whole thing is we can't let them take away our rights to what we enjoy and love.
Yeah.
and the Pennsylvania ban came up because what was it? Last year, over the course of the year, they found like 5 to 7 alligators that someone had let loose
I think it was
last year.
4. It was 4. Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
4 in Pittsburgh alone.
Yeah, there's a couple
in
other.
Pittsburgh
Yeah.
alone, and
Yeah.
It's a shame, and I honestly think I know who it was, because they had them posted up for sale and weren't able to sell them, and it just people that got pissed me off. And I see a lot of posts for, especially alligators. People, they buy them because they see them, they're cute and they're little. And I even watched someone admit that they didn't plan on keeping the thing, its whole life.
Oh, nice.
Like my Nile monitor, he might not be the nice thing, but I'm not giving him, I'm not going to sell him to anyone. I'm not, going to let him outside. He's here. He's here to stay. He has a name. He stays here. But
Right.
I just, you'll like I said, you'll see people post up. I didn't plan on keeping it. I just wanted to have the experience of owning an alligator until it got 2-3 foot. Now I want to ship it off to someone else. If you don't want to plan on giving that animal its for the rest of its life a home, don't do it.
Oh.
Go at the reptile show and go look at them. Go hold them, get a picture with them. Cool. If you don't plan on keeping them, don't get one.
Yeah, it's the whole generation of like instant gratification, but no long-term commitment. I'm not going to say we're all thinking it.
I'm 100% guilty on an impulse
Best way to put it.
alligator buy when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
I
that's
did
from younger age.
Right.
Once you hit
about
over
14, and it cost me $80, and I planned on keeping it forever, But I mean, you kind of, when you're a teenager, you don't really think ahead a lot. And I ended up in like some pretty rough spots where I had to get rid of them, but I had them for 4 years.
So did you release it into the gutters though?
Yeah, totally. No. I actually gave them
responsible home
away.
for it, right? That's what adults do.
And, yeah, I mean, for sure, especially in Michigan, it wouldn't have lasted a whole month,
Yeah.
That's another thing about Michigan. We don't have any bans on exotic animals. And I think that's a lot to do with our weather, because let's face it, nothing could survive even a portion of a year in Michigan that's not native here. But
Yeah, I feel like you guys are also.
I gave them to a buddy's dad that supposedly had another alligator downstate, and he was racing him up with that. I already had a bigger enclosure for the one, and that was when I was around 17 or 18 years old, and I personally haven't talked to either of them, him or his dad, since, because things happen, but yeah, I mean, I would love to own an alligator again. It was definitely a really cool experience, because he would fall asleep on my chest. I'd be laying down watching TV. I'd have like a hoodie on, and I'd have him out, and he'd fall asleep on my chest in my hoodie. So it was cool as a teenager, but would I get one now? No. You know what I mean? I don't have the room for it. I know that. So it's just something that kind of live and learn, and hope no one else has to learn like the hard way by releasing something in the wild,
Yeah, always, even anyone that I just can't even see what the thought process to release one is. I just couldn't, I can't do it my retics anymore and just let them go. How do you think that way?
Yeah.
They
We
just
used to joke
found
about-
sorry. Yeah, they just found a retic in Ohio or something not that long ago.
Yeah, we just got that. I think that died at someone's house or whatever, and they just left it on the side.
Yeah, dumped it outside because they found it dead, but
Oh. We used to joke about taking our red-tailed boas, our big girls, and putting their sheds like out on the sidewalk in our little subdivision neighborhood. Like, it'd be hilarious to see like the headlines, like giant snake roaming through North Idaho. You know.
I totally want to do that in the woods, like right before hunting season.
One of the Retic's full sheds.
Just put a bunch of sheds out in the woods and see what happens.
Me and Josh were talking about that the one day.
Yeah, I'll dump my tub out.
And pieces go flying through the air into people's yards. Where like someone's gonna think some crazy shit.
Shed floating around, people freaking out. There's something giant in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever have to soak like Buttercup, you know, I'll soak her in the tub, you know, and then like her shed will, like if she had a hard time shedding or something, her shed will always come off while she's soaking. Well, I'll dump the water outside, and I've always thought to myself the same thing. What if someone finds this? And it's like some pretty big scales and pretty big shed. But like, it's funny because a lot of outdoorsmen are terrified of snakes for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out last fall, early in the fall. We were out one morning, and it was still like kind of dark out. We were getting ready to do like some upland bird hunting, and I see something start going across the trail, and I grab it real quick. And mind you, I'm in northern Michigan, and it was just like a baby eastern garter. And the older guy who was with us says, "Aren't you afraid it's gonna bite you? Woof! It's a coppermouth or something." I'm like, man, what? You know?
Is it poisonous?
Yeah.
I think they all are. I think all
Yeah.
snakes are poisonous.
Yeah. Just stay away from all of them.
Yeah.
Don't bite them.
On it. And I always wonder how people could even think that way, but then again, I guess not many people like grew up, you know, looking at snake books or whatever, and that's just how you have to look at it.
Yeah. Recently, there was a Conrad. I don't know if anybody else other than Conrad on this call is a hunter, but there's a podcast called Bear Hunting Magazine. Have you heard of that? He's like really awesome. Anyways, he recently did an interview with a biologist or something who was a herpetologist.
No.
And on our flight back from Orlando, I was like, I'm going to listen to this. I hope it's not like embarrassing, you know, and like represents us well, you know. And so anyways, it was actually a really great interview that hopefully a lot of hunters, like you said, in certain areas of the country especially, it's like kill on sight sort of mentality for people. And so I think people need to understand that, like, especially hunters, it's like you should respect them for being such amazing predators themselves, you know.
You know, bud?
Yeah, that's something that's kind of always bugged me because, you know, you never like so I'll go out hunting with like a group of a few people, and I don't go hunting with people I don't know, so everyone knows I'm a snake freak or whatever they want to call me. But you know, everyone seems to respect that. I mean, I do hunt with a couple of people that are deathly terrified of snakes. My buddy, and I'm proud of it because he came over and he held Buttercup not too long ago for the first time, and like I said, he's terrified of snakes. You know, we grew up and he wouldn't be found anywhere near that, so I thought that was really cool. But,
say goodnight.
Good night.
Okay, say bye.
I was gonna say it is late. Yeah, our kids are still waiting for dinner.
Yeah. Late on tonight.
yeah,
The promises we make if they're quiet, right?
Uh-huh.
it's almost 8 o'clock here, guys. This time.
Yeah, 7:45.
It was his birthday yesterday, so he's been on a sugar rush all week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I always use hunting to go to sleep.
So speaking of, we need to head out soon because the little ones are waiting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we don't want to keep the kids waiting any longer. But yeah, if you guys want to come back on, I'm sure Brian can schedule something with us, and you know, when you guys get your new snakes and or whatever in the next few months, when it warms up, maybe you guys want to show them off.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Great.
For sure.
Definitely like that. Thank you so much for having us on, guys. Like I said in the beginning, like a huge part of us being involved with reptiles again is like doing it with other people. Because back when we were involved 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, there wasn't a community like there is now, you know, as toxic as it can be.
There wasn't really internet. Like Facebook was maybe just starting to come out, and like groups, I don't even think were a thing on Facebook yet.
Like shows were the only place to interact with people. So it's cool to be able to just talk with other hobbyists and share the passion. So thanks a lot, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah,
everything's changed over the years. It's just awesome to watch it keep changing.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep changing after this, too.
Yep.
Next thing you know, we won't be on a screen. We'll be a bunch of holograms all in the same room. Some virtual reality world.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Pulling out holographics.
Soon enough.
That'd be cool.
But, all right, guys.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. I mean, it was fun. We definitely look forward to having you guys on again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. You have a great evening.
Thank you as well.
Everybody that's listening.
It was nice meeting you guys. Have a good one.
Same.
Yeah, nice one, me too.
Take care.
You guys too. Have a good night.
You too, Conrad. See ya. See you, Josh. See you, Keith.
See you later, man. All right. You want to say anything before I hit end? Stay tuned for next week.
Yeah, stay tuned for. Wait, not next week. It's gonna be. Maybe it might be next week. Yeah, it's next week.
Follow the Facebook page.
Yeah, follow the Facebook page. We'll
let you know. There you go.
And I believe it's Kim Bell M. Ross, the snake wrangler for The Walking Dead. For those of you who are interested, so
that'll be a fun one.
Tune in.
We'll see you next time.
And